Hi, good morning everyone. I hope you're all keeping well. It's a beautiful day outside, but unfortunately we can't go out because at the time of filming we're experiencing a global pandemic of coronavirus, and it's kind of inspired me to release this series of videos concerning exercises that can be done in a confined space that need no extra special equipment. It can be practiced by people of all ages and fitness levels. It's low impact. So there'll be a particular focus on Tai Chi and Qigong in these sessions. In one of my earlier videos, I went through the Shibashi routine, so that's an 18 Qigong form. So Qigong just means energy work, okay? There's a lot of theory to underpin this, but that's beyond the scope of this particular video. I just want to make this short as possible, just to concentrate on the first movement of the Shibashi form, which is called raising the arms or raising Qi. But I just wanted to be familiar with the idea of Qi Gong. We're just trying to refine the energy that's in the body, the energy levels. It's the same theory that underpins a lot of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture, which of course is widely accepted now in the Western hemisphere, medical sphere. Okay. So we take a look at this first movement, and this you could recognize as being the opening movements in the Yang and the Chen style Tai Chi as well. So I'll just talk you through the movements of it first, then we'll look at the breathing, and then we'll look at the internal applications of it, because Tai Chi, Qigong is an internal art, it's not external. That's why the movements all appear to be slow and deliberate. A lot of the work is taking place inside the body as opposed to external in Kung Fu and Karate. Okay, so to begin the practice, we're just going to start with our feet together, and we want the body resting in the center of the feet, not on the heels or the balls of the feet. We're just going to bend the knees slightly. The hips we're going to roll forward just to straighten the spine. It's important that we keep the spine as straight as possible. This helps us improve our posture. And then the chest, if your shoulders are back, just relax them forward, making a concave feel in the chest. And the purpose of this is to take pressure off the heart and lungs. We want the body to be as relaxed as possible. Then we're tucking the chin in, again, to keep the spine straight. The tongue will be resting on the upper palate behind the front teeth. This connects the two channels of energy around the body. You've got the governing channel and the conceptual channel. Okay, I can talk a bit more about them in other videos, but the tongue acts as a switch to connect those two circuits that form the microcosmic orbit. It might seem a bit far out at the moment for some viewers, but we can get into that another time, okay? So, just relaxing. And then again, we're coming up. The eyes are just resting somewhere in the mid-distance, not dead ahead, not just down in front, somewhere just in the mid-distance, a soft focus. And then on the crown, we just want to feel like a lifting from the crown. So from the waist, we want to draw in down from the dantian area and a pushing up. So we're just elongulating the spine. And again, we can imagine that there's a cord running right the way through the body, and that the rest of the body is being sort of suspended from the crown. Okay, so we're nice and relaxed there. Okay, so to begin the form, we'll sink down, lift the left heel up towards the left, take a step out, landing on the left toes, about shoulder width apart, bring the body across, and then sink down. Okay, so the feet are pointing forward and we've just bent down slightly. Again, just 1 or 2 inches down on the height. Okay, and then the movement will begin. We'll just raise the arms, and they'll come up nice and slow, just to shoulder height, this way, and then come down, start to relax the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, and then finally the fingers, and then we start to push down in this way. Okay, so the arms will come up, and then the arms will sink down. Okay, so how fast should we be doing this movement? That all depends on your breathing. Okay, so that's where the breathing side of this comes in. When we breathe in, we'll breathe in all the way. So our breathing will end when we end the movement, and then we'll start to breathe out So the answer to that is basically how fast your breathing is. So you're breathing in, you inhale, you rise up, and you exhale, you come down. Okay, so you're breathing in, and you're breathing out. Okay, so what we want to try and do, as I explained earlier, is breathe in through the nose. So by breathing in through the nose, we can keep the tongue in contact with the upper palate, and then exhale down. The benefits of breathing through the nose, we've got the hairs and the mucus to take out any microbes, any bacteria in the air, and that gets stuck in. And we can also collect water and moisture through the nose, which also helps hydrate. And the amount of air coming in will also equal the amount of air coming out if we use the nose. If you can't use the nose, it's hay fever time, then just breathe through your mouth if you can. Whichever way is more natural for you. It's later on that you want to start being able to keep the mouth closed, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose in this way. Or you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. But you find you're going to have to lose that connection with the tongue to breathe out. The other thing that's happening through the nose is the air is being warmed to the right temperature of the lungs as well. So you've got a line of defense there with the nose that you haven't got when you breathe through your mouth. So if you do practice breathing through your nose, most of the time, it's something that can really help, particularly asthma sufferers like myself. When I just started to breathe through my nose as much as possible, I found a great improvement in the health of my lungs. Okay, because we've got pollution at the moment, we've got viruses, but we've also got like the pollution and other things in the air, and this allows us to filter that out through breathing through the nose. So it's a good way of practicing. The other method, again, is the breathing. So when we breathe in, we don't want to inhale in the chest only. We want to breathe in through the abdomen. So when we breathe in, the abdomen expands and contracts. When we breathe out, do a simple exercise as placing a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly. Breathing in and breathing out. But I'll go into this in more detail. For now, we're just looking at this movement. So just breathing in and we're breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so I mentioned earlier the internal method of this. We've got the breathing and we've got the movement, and they are synchronized so that we're breathing in and we're breathing out. Okay, so generally, particularly with this form, when we go on to the other movements as well, whenever we're rising up, we're going to breathe in. Whenever we're sinking down, we're going to breathe out. When we're going backward, we're going to inhale. When we go forward, we're always going to exhale, okay? Just in these particular forms. So, again, going back to the traditional Chinese medicine theory and the idea of meridians and channels, we're going to focus on acupressure point in the dantian, which is 1.5 inches, 3 fingers below your belly button. This is the energy center. So we're going to draw the energy out of the energy center when we breathe in. We want to imagine that we're drawing the energy up to the chest, and then breathe out. Want this energy to go then to this acupressure point in the middle of the palms as we sink down. So for the first time, we're drawing up, and then we're breathing out, and that's going to move along to the palms. So this way, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, breathing in and breathing out. A very simple move, but very powerful in terms of health and well-being. Because it has the benefits of balancing the chi. This is drawing up from the ground and exhaling down into the ground. So you can think of drawing in positivity, exhaling, pushing down through the ground, through your feet, getting rid of negative energy into the earth. Breathing in the positive, pushing down, expelling the negative through the feet. Okay, so there's other benefits. We're balancing the chi. With this breathing method of the belly is massaging the internal organs, squeezing out any stale fluids and blood, and then when they expand like a sponge, attracting new chi, blood, fluids into the organs to keep them nourished. The flow of chi smoothing out around the body will improve the blood circulation, the cardio system, which in turn will improve the joints, the health of the joints. Also your well-being. It's good for insomnia, good for building the willpower, mental focus. Okay, so it's a good little exercise. From something so simple, we can generate these benefits. In the Shibashi form, we'll go through this 3 times typically, but you can practice it as many times as you want. So just breathing in, drawing up to the palms, and then exhale. So in the first time you practice, you probably won't feel any flow of energy at all, and that's perfectly fine. After a bit of practice, you might start to feel tingling in your fingers as the blood and capillaries start to open. The tips of your fingers, your hands might change colour, they might get a little bit fatter after practice as the circulation improves. This is not uncommon. You might feel a tingle up your spine as you're drawing the energy up and pushing it down, but this is something that'll be different for everybody, okay? So it's not always the same if you're not experiencing the heat. Some people might experience cold because they're more of a yang. There's much theory to underpin this, but as I say, I just want to give you the basics, and we'll cover the other 17 moves in later videos. I hope this has been helpful. I'm sorry it's a bit scatty. I'm just getting used to this being in front of a camera thing. But if you have found it useful and you'd like to see more, please like, leave a comment, please. Your feedback would be welcome, even if you're just dissing me. And subscribe. I need some subscribers. Nobody's watching this at the moment, so that would be nice. And share them if you think it'd be helpful. But I'm hoping that this helps people. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. I wouldn't ordinarily get in front of a camera unless I've got a guitar. But I feel like this could be useful at this time, and even beyond this point of this pandemic. So I hope you're all keeping well and look after each other and stay safe. Okay, thank you.